Many people consider Nike Mercurial Superfly 4 as the best Mercurial of all time.
It's not, by the way.
But since 2016, the boot has no longer been in production, and since then we've seen 6 different models of the Mercurial. So why fix what many people think isn't broken? So in this video, I'm going to tell you why brands continue to release new models of football boots. Now the first step is to flip our perspective. Let's pretend you're a big brand, say Nike for example. Brands don't have the same admiration for football boots as consumers do. They see their boots more like tech products, similar to Microsoft. You also have to remember that football is a sport which is constantly developing. And with all the sports science now, the average player is a much better athlete than yesteryear. And with that, that means brands have to develop their football boots to meet the demands of modern players. And with that, as time goes on, new technologies and new materials are developed, which then can be implemented into the design of football boots to meet the demands of modern players, which can either improve a boot or for some people make it worse. And hence why the older model stops being produced once the new model comes out, as it's seen as more like an outdated piece of tech. Also, there'd be more underlying costs like manufacturing, etc., that just makes it a bit more expensive to make 2 football boot models at the exact same time from the same line. Now, the improvement in terms of tech is dictated by trends in the market, as well as breakthroughs in terms of technology that is available at the time. The last big one was the introduction of one-piece knitted uppers in 2014, and since then we've not seen too many drastic changes, but you never know what's on the horizon. It's also important to remember, no matter how well revered a football boot is, each boot will have some kind of intrinsic flaw which a brand will try, big emphasis on try, to improve on. Take for example the Nike Hypervenom Phantom. I don't know why I've done that, I've got one right here. The first gen Nike Hypervenom Phantom is regarded as many as probably one of the best football boots of all time. However, it had many flaws. There was issues with the lockdown and the durability, all because of this really soft upper. So to overcome those flaws, in the next model, Nike introduced a new upper with fly-wire cables. You all know how that went. But they ended up fixing that in the end. Another reason is competition. Brands are constantly competing with each other for a share in the market. And as of 2023, this is what the market share looked like. But marketing and advertising has a lot to do with this as well. But brands need to constantly develop their products in order to, either maintain their leverage or gain more leverage in the market. And if they stop developing their boots, they would lose that leverage. And competitor brands would have made objectively better boots as time has gone on, which better meet the demands of a modern player. And since they've been seen as outdated, that means more players will be inclined not to buy them, which leads to less sales. Also, capitalism, but I won't get too much into that. Now, some of you may not like it, but the constant development of football boots is absolutely necessary. If boots weren't developed, we'd probably be stuck with a boot that looks like this, for example, and we wouldn't get some of our favorite boots of all time. However, there is one boot which is a contradiction to all I've just said, and that is the Adidas Copa Mundial. The Copa Mundial is a huge outlier, and the reason why it's seemingly been unchanged since it was first released in the 1970s is because of Adidas' kind of unique branding within football of being traditional, as well as the demand for the boot itself. But there's a reason why we don't see it used by players at the top of the game anymore, and it's mainly used by referees and coaches. And that's mainly because in terms of performance, the boot is extremely outdated, but still remains a cult classic.